Three-game day today. You'll have the evening to kind of reset before the top seed. Much investment there has been for Chattanooga in this championship environment. A little looper into left, and that's going to be a base knock. So the leadoff batter aboard is out of Macon, Georgia.
Now, one of the things that Mercer does so well is putting the ball in play. A lot of pressure on that Western Carolina infield.
Ladino lays this down, a movement of the runner. The play at first going to be close. In fact, safe at first is the two-hole hitter campaign. You see the vitals for the Sunshine State product as she awaits an O the first time. Squares again, bunts this into the opposite batter's box. That's going to roll foul again, so the runners will retreat. And it'll be an 0-2. A couple of wins here to get to double digits in conference play. Bounce down to third. The out recorded there and throw across the diamond is true. Not all put in play and in a location less than what Mercer had hoped. So if they're going to do anything with this, anybody in the ball game on either side. And Helm will line this other side of the diamond, and that's going to be handled by the Western Carolina first baseman Myra Twitty to the year. 60 strikeouts, 64 walks, and 176 and 2/3 innings of work. And this deadened third base side. Similar start as a runner is aboard for Western Carolina. Brooklyn, Honeycutt, and Twitty, they've combined for 18 of Western Carolina's home runs on the year, 9 apiece.
What a year she's having, Jason, flirting with a 400 average on the year.
392 coming in, that rises a bit. This is lifted off the bat of the two-hole hitter, Henry. But the on the team with 37 driven home on the season for the Catamounts. A backhanded try, but that'll sneak on through into left field. There are two aboard with one down on what is keen on the year. This is her 42nd appearance and her 27th start for the Mercer Bears. It's Twitty who wins this battle, punches this through the left side, and Western Carolina strikes first. 1-0 Catamount. Catamounts, by the way, we gave you their 20 and record on the season. Talk a little more about that. How about this? Squeezing one home now, and the call at first is safe. So not only does the run just enough make it feel and moving with the pitch from third, Honeycutt slides easily across to double the lead in the bottom of the opening inning. That's off the end of the bat. Out of the circle to snatch it is Grace Taylor. She'll go to first for the second out. Two more in scoring position, though. Wells, who will be the batter out of the 7th spot in the order in a home series. Then take care of Wells will draw the walk. Base is full with 2 down, and it'll be up to Samantha Rill. Here's the 8-hole hitter, and this is the battle that will determine just where it stays. Bouncer right side, going to be handled there by the second baseman Barton, and it will remain just 2 to escape it nicely. And here's a look at the overall for Eilers across the course at some point across the course of weeks like this, if you're going to see a title come your direction. This is going to hit the batter, but our home plate umpire games from an umpiring standpoint as well as the players who play in them. And it is a consequential decision as a swing through will mean a as Eilers delivers out of the circle. This grounded back her direction. Eilers, who filled her position well, does so again, and there are 2 down. Different
as you see right there, that great play, remember, by Honeycutt in the first inning to get the double.
Yeah, you have to stay alert. Even coming in. Left field, and there is the spoiler of what was going to be nice and tidy this second inning. A bounce.
Is it nice?
Well, he made a lot of the phone calls, did a lot of the legwork to make it possible, and all the Southern Conference teams going to enjoy it this weekend. Limited the damage to just a couple of runs here. You see her numbers overall on the year, 176. And
when things start to go bad as a freshman, that can be difficult, but she has really put in the work.
Here's Treadway, the leadoff batter, the 9-hole hitter, sends it into center. Woods is there to make around the horn. We'll get the visual up for you on that here in a moment. Second baseman Barton will toss that over to first and a 4-3 putout. So there are now at the defensive alignment for Mercer.
Very much.
Backhanded effort, set the feet, long throw, and it was a strong one. But able to cover the 6. Also jump off the page at you. She's the only player in the game on either side
Conference Player of the Year in 2021, first teamer last year, but goes down on that heat from Grace Taylor.
Yeah, big pitch from Grace. Plenty of experience now, 48.
Is going to put pressure on you. They can put the ball on the ground with their speed. Not the way that she wants to start off this inning with the leadoff walk, but
particularly to the 9-hole hitter with the. That is right by the third baseman and on a rail. Down the left field line, 2 are aboard to start the ball game, and right down the left field line this time. If this looks familiar, it should. Laying down the bunt, it will be an effective sacrifice for Laudino. So Woods based each of those occasions having effectively sacrificed the runners.
He's aboard over at first. Great bunt, but great defense.
First and has done here, but when she couldn't sacrifice, grounded into the double play. She has a different outcome here, and it'll mean a couple of runs. Home, ripping a page out of the playbook we saw earlier from Western Carolina, and when the ball.
Station Mercer moving them around so well, putting pressure on the defense. That's what we talk about.
Center field, stabbing it on a run toward the left field side as well, and there are 2 gone in the. When you have a couple of teams that both finished with 8 and 10 records in the Southern Conference. 2 down and a runner at second in a tie ball game, and there is strike 3. Eiler's able to work it by more, and they'll turn to the combo of Twitty, Mintel, and Stuman to that end. And Twitty will draw the walk. Have to be careful with the cleanup hitter for Western Carolina because of all that power. Mintel ahead of this at bat. And this is dribbled first base side. That's going to be productive enough to move the runner. Twitty in scoring position with 1 down on a little carry-o for Western toward the end of that first inning. Into center again. There's the second out as charging is Woods. Going to be no chance to move up for the runner at second. You talked about the switch ups in the lineup and the lower part of the order. And how about this? Over to third, and safely in there is Twitty. So now
take another look. Looked like the throw beater.
And that is lined into left field. It'll get the run home. The bottom of the order does produce. They do so in a 2-out scenario. Carolina, how about that? From the 7th, Western Carolina out of the discussion with the Catamounts crew. And here is a grounder left side, going to be was worth talking about after the first 3 deliveries of this 4th inning were out of the strike zone, which is good for the top spot in the Western Carolina record books. That conversation comes from someone who knows when you're talking battery mates. This is popped up every play, be involved in every play, and you know you're the lone one facing that direction with a view of everything that's happening. It gives you a different perspective on the game. This handled left side.
A battery of seniors there for Western Carolina.
Pitching coaches are there with the catcher's perspective. Get double the impact. This is in the air to right. That's going to take care of things as Stuman at the plate, in which they scored 1. 2-out noise for Western. And then the if necessary following that down to third. And across the diamond, a 5-3 put out takes
one of the best championships, maybe the best week of softball we've ever seen.
Down to a knee, 4-3 put out, and that takes care of the second out of the inning. You know, you're right. That how often do you see it? We kind of set the inning up this way. One pitcher has a nice frame and the other answers. Grace Taylor does just that. Another bouncer down to third, another 5-3 put out. Through the first 3 frames, and incredibly effective the last time around. This is bunted foul, so she'll find herself in command of the count. First baseman's mitt. They're in a prime spot and ready for it. This is popped to the second baseman, going to be handled out there. And the out have to rely upon solid defense to get the job done. So far, for the most part, they've exhibited it. This is just going to elude the Western defense and work into center field. There's a for 3 start to the tournament for Woods. The bunt popped, and that'll be corralled by the catcher. And this is grounded by a diving shortstop and into left. All the way around to third is the speedster Woods, and it will also allow 2 pitch. Popped. Another chance for the Western Carolina backstop. The play is made. Augusta, Georgia, who is taking over in the circle for Mercer. As here's the first delivery, and Treadway going to send this into right field. That's going to hang up long enough that Moore is there to make the play. And there is the fifth inning. 6 hits on. And she skies this. Foul territory on the left field side. Wiggs, find yourself in this type spot with your team still very much in the thick of it, that speaks volumes. It will not be a one far so good, though a 2-out single has forced her to throw a few more pitching game, the tone setter of the SoCon tourney. In her last at bat, she did. Plenty of options here with a force in effect at all bases, and they'll decide to go to third with it. Swing of the bat in a 3-2 contest can come at any time. But when you have a hitter on deck, allowed just 2 so far in this one, and that's going to hit the Mercer batter one more time. And remember now, having been called back early. But it speaks to the importance of that run, does it not, Phil? That they opt to have her sacrifice more down. So a hit batsman, a sac bunt, run across. Bears looking to answer. Runner's going to be held at third on a base knock to left. And they are on the corners, the spot in the order. Remember, this has been occupied by Wilkerson, but coming on as a defensive replacement in the prior frame, Sophie Sumner.
Good job to continue this at bat.
He's up in the prime offensive spot for the Bears. And will take a called strike 3 as the pitcher of the month in the SoCon Eilers of the opening inning, in which Mercer threatened in a major way, and Eilers was able to.
100th pitch right here.
And it is lined to third, stabbed there by Honeycutt, the standout. On the Mercer side of things, this pop middle infield going to be handled by Dino out there at short. And there is one. And grounded out is 0 for 2 in her start to the SoCon. Treadway, who came in just hitting sub 200 on the year. This pop goes foul. A little juggling act, perhaps, as that was right up against. We'll walk you through them after this 2-2, which is lifted in the air. Speaking of Woods, who will lead off the top of the 7th, she is there to make the 5 game. Has been an entertaining one. 2-0 Western after 1. And you can make it 1 for 4. The strikeout used by Rearley to retire Western Carolina. Working to the top of the Mercer order. First pitch swung on, and Woods, for the first time today, is retired on a pop-up to the shortstop Brewington. 1-0 on the road in Macon. In the air, just on the edge of the grass, another chance for Brewington, and there are 2 away now to button up the ball game. Here's another 1-2, and this is in the air. Center fielder coming in. Wells calls everybody off. And the SoCon pitcher of the month, able to take care of business by holding Mercer at bay.
Big defensive plays early by Western Carolina to kind of help make her comfortable. And you look back at what Western Carolina had